So if you, like me, have never watched The Bachelor and are still a little bit confused about what The Bachelor even is and are sure only that whatever it is, it's certainly entertainment for people with the IQ of maybe a squid or something. If this describes you, then you have missed probably the latest controversy surrounding the show. I bring it to your attention now, as it was brought to my attention, only because it's so perfectly emblematic of where we are as a culture. So now try to follow this story because it gets a little twisty. Rachel Kirkconnell, or maybe it's Kirkconnell, not sure, we'll go with Kirkconnell because it sounds fancier. Rachel Kirkconnell is a contestant on the latest season of The Bachelor, vying for the heart of one Matt James. The contestants are all trying to actually marry him. I think that's how it works. Anyway, Matt James is a black man. And that shouldn't be relevant, that shouldn't matter, but of course, race is always made relevant by the left these days. It came out recently that Rachel has a history of racist behavior. And by racist behavior, we mean principally that she attended a frat party in 2018 with an antebellum South theme. And pictures from this gathering resurfaced, as they say, and she could be seen wearing a white hood and with a pointy top and lighting a cross on fire. So, no, sorry, actually, never mind. That's not what the picture shows at all. No, in the pictures, she's wearing a pink frilly dress and taking a selfie with her friends. That's it. Antebellum, as it turns out, is not Latin for racist or Klan member. It actually means literally before the war. Antebellum. So the antebellum South is the South before the Civil War. Yes, the South before the Civil War had slavery. That's true. So did a huge portion of the rest of the globe at that time. So when college kids go to an antebellum party, they're not going there to celebrate slavery. That's not the idea. They're going there to wear fun outfits and, most crucially, to drink copious amounts of alcohol. That's, of course, always the real goal of any college party. So, and this is clear to any reasonable person, right? But we're running a shortage of those kinds of people today. So the controversy raged. Internet sleuths started digging up other suspicious online activity from this girl, edgy posts and photos the girl liked, and they dug up rumors from her time in grade school, and the hunt was on. They were on the trail of another racist, or at least someone that they could pretend was racist. It's the same story we've seen play out a million times before. And as part of that story, we know that the apology always comes next, right? Rachel Kirkconnell issued a groveling, begging apology, actually calling herself a racist multiple times in the apology and pleading for forgiveness for the harm and damage that she'd caused by wearing a frilly dress and taking a picture. Of course, no forgiveness was given. It never is. And that's when things take a turn for the even more insane. Chris Harrison is apparently the host of The Bachelor, or was the host. He's now stepped down after his own racism controversy, stemming from the racism controversy surrounding Rachel. If you think that simply being the host of The Bachelor was the most embarrassing thing that Chris Harrison would ever do, get a load of this, because it gets a lot worse. He appeared on an interview show on Extra TV with a woman named Rachel Lindsay. During that interview, this was early last week, he was asked about the Rachel Kirkconnell stuff. And he rambled for a little bit, but his point was simply that we should have some grace for her, and we shouldn't ruin her life over this. And he tried very, very hard to make a reasonable point without ever taking a firm position. He tried very hard. In fact, he uses the phrase, "I don't know," about 50 different times during this short part of the interview. And his point seems to be, we should have grace for this girl, but also, I don't know, who knows, please don't be mad at me. Let's listen to a clip of that.
What are your thoughts about Rachel Kirkconnell and the allegations attached to her?
A couple of things. First and foremost, I don't know. I haven't talked to Rachel about it. And this is, again, where we all need to have a little grace, a little understanding, a little compassion, because I've seen some stuff online. Again, this judge, jury, executioner thing where people are just tearing this girl's life apart and diving into like her parents and her parents' voting record and what it's unbelievably alarming to watch this. I haven't heard Rachel speak on this yet. And until I actually hear this woman have a chance to speak, who am I to say any of this? My guess These girls got dressed up and went to a party and had a great time. They were 18 years old. Now, does that make it okay? I don't know, Rachel. You tell me. Again, I am not the woke police. There's plenty of people who will do that for us in this world right now. I don't know. Like, do you go tear all those places down and tear up the dirt and dig deep enough that it erases it? I don't know. When you see San Francisco erasing Lincoln and erasing Washington and erasing people because of what they stood for 180 years ago. And again, they may be right at the end of the day. I don't know. I'm just going to give her the grace and the time to actually come out and speak. And then hopefully I'll even have a chance to debate her. And I know you will for sure. She'll go on Extra or go on your podcast and hopefully you'll have a great talk with her.
I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Don't be mad. Don't hate me. Gee, guys, I just think maybe sort of we shouldn't ruin this girl's life because she went to a party in 2018. I don't know. Maybe. Don't be mad at me. Well, guess what? They were mad at him. Because of that, what you just heard there, he was accused of racism too. And now he's stepped down after issuing his own groveling apology, where he also confesses to causing damage to people, even though he caused no damage to anyone, and admits that his actions were racist, even though they weren't. In the lead up to him stepping down, the host of that interview, Rachel Lindsay, complained that he used his privilege during the interview. And all of the Bachelor contestants came out against him, and his girlfriend, told the media that he was defending racism and it's unacceptable. Much of this after his apology. And they still all lined up to throw him under the bus because the apology is never enough. And this is why I bring this story up. And I think it's worth reflecting on. We are way past the point of saying simply that people these days are unforgiving or that they fail to forgive or they fail to show grace. We are way past that. We're at a point now where forgiveness is ruled out categorically. To even advocate for it is a sin just as bad as whatever sin you're saying should be forgiven. Even if the original sin was no sin at all, which most of the time it isn't. See, what this is really about and has always been about is cultural dominance. The woke police, as Chris Harrison called them in that interview back when he was pretending to have some semblance of a spine, the woke police are looking for any opportunity to impose their will. And that's really what this is about. To punish those who deviate from the path that the woke mob has prescribed for all of our lives. And that explains the seemingly sort of weird fact that oftentimes the people who defend the canceled person will get canceled even harder than the original cancelee. It's because the defender is making a more direct and explicit attack on the woke mob's tactics and therefore its authority. Even if that attack is still extremely circumspect and peppered with all kinds of qualifiers and clauses and so on, as it was with Chris Harrison. Doesn't matter. Anyone who dares to speak up and say, no, I don't think you guys should be doing it this way. Anyone who does that will get the harshest treatment of all. Harrison's girlfriend knew that. That's why she threw him right under the bus. All of the contestants on the show. Everybody gets the message, right? And that's how this is supposed to work. I said last week that the woke mob takes your scalp. Once it cancels you, they take the scalp and they nail it to their wall as a trophy. Well, I was actually wrong. That's actually not exactly correct. I think it's truer to say that they take off your head and they put it on a pike and leave it on the outskirts of town as a warning to any other challengers. That's really what it is. It's ruthless, it's bloodthirsty, and it's extremely effective. And to stand up to them, to really stand up against them, to really defy them, will take a lot more courage and backbone than the host of The Bachelor apparently possesses. No big surprise there, I suppose. Well, I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Matt Walsh Show. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right down there so you can stay up to date on all of our future content.